Welcome back to Ivy Cottage. We've been here a couple of weeks now and we're making good progress on the build. We've done so much in such a short period of time. But at this stage, we're probably into about episode 4, and I wanted to say thank you for taking the time to watch our videos. I hope you keep watching them, and please subscribe. It helps us realise that how many people actually enjoy watching our videos and encourage us to keep making them. It does take time to make them. We have to keep the camera rolling and keep moving it around, which is taking time from the build. So please do subscribe. We're doing our bit. If you could do your bit, it would be great. We'd really appreciate it. I thought at this stage you should really get to know me, and my reasons for being here are much more than just a house that I came across as I was driving down the road. I've had a couple of things happen in my life that have changed how I see things. Unfortunately, I got divorced. That was one of the things that went wrong. And one of the big things that happened in my life recently was I got cancer. And that hit me for 6 a little bit. Now, I'm lucky. It was a good cancer, and I've had an operation. And at the moment, it's looking pretty good. So I'm very thankful. But it has changed things in a number of different ways. One of the ways that it's changed things is when you go for a mortgage to build a house. It's easy. You fill in your application forms and that's all fine, and the bank or the building society want to give you the money. The problem comes to when you want to get insurance, and one of the things that you find it impossible to get insurance for is after you've had cancer. So I went to the building society, and he didn't know if I could get insurance, and he asked would I go to an independent broker to see, and I spoke to an independent broker, and he wasn't that keen on even finding out for me. So I realised I was up against it a small bit. And another problem that I do have, while I have a list of them, is I've got 4 bulging discs in my back, which makes work quite hard for me. And my ability to pay a mortgage might be compromised in the future if my back can't keep up. So I had to think really carefully before buying a house, or you know, what type of house I was going to buy and how much I was going to spend. So it came down to buying the absolute cheapest house I could. I know I've got strength in me still, and I know that I've got one more building left in me, and that's going to be this build. This is going to be Ivy Cottage, and this is going to be my forever home for that reason. I'm really looking forward to doing it. It's got this place up here is just amazing. It's got a lovely feel, and the neighbours I've met so many neighbours over the past few weeks, and they're lovely people stopping here and wishing us well. And I'd just like to say hello to each and every one of you, and if you haven't stopped in yet, please do so. I'd love to say hello and meet you. So, yeah, cancer, that was a big problem for me, you know, and it was a big fright, and it was a life-changing thing, and the amount of worry that goes with it when somebody says that to you, you know, when they tell you about it, it frightens you, you know, and it's a big deal. But the doctors and nurses are fantastic, and especially in the COVID-19 situation, I take my hat off to every nurse and doctor in the country. They are absolutely fantastic, and I don't have private health insurance or anything like that. I went in on the public system, and I've no complaints whatsoever. They're absolutely fantastic, so I'm really grateful. And yet again, I was in hospital once with my back as well. It totally packed up, and I had to be injected with loads of morphine to stop the pain. I was grateful for that as well. That was a dodgy moment in my life. So yeah, so that was that. So life insurance was difficult to get. The other thing that I have no problem admitting is I suffered from depression in my lifetime. Especially around the time of divorce and that sort of thing, and even prior to it, I suffered from depression, and that can be a hard thing to deal with, both for you and people around you. But yet again, it has a consequence, in that if you have suffered from depression and you say that you've suffered from depression, you can't get serious illness cover, which is amazing. And I have to say I'm actually annoyed about it, because if you break your leg and you fix it, it's better, that's fine, you get on with it. If you have depression and you get better, well, you've got better, that's fine, you get on with it, but not according to an insurance company. So isn't that so wrong in a time when we're supposed to be accepting mental health as a problem and something that can be fixed, and accepting it as being normal and a part of us and society, that you'd actually be penalised by an insurance company because you've had depression? Like, life insurance doesn't cover you if you commit suicide. So what's the problem? I don't understand as to why you couldn't get serious illness cover because you've had depression. At least, if nothing else, exclude in the policy anything to do with depression. But it really puts you in an awkward position. So that brings me back to Ivy Cottage and why I'm here. And I really am delighted. I'm so happy and privileged, and I thank God for every day that I'm here and all the things that I have. I have got a really tight budget for doing this house up, but I've got a big strong pair of hands. I've got my brother who's actually behind the camera at the moment. He's called Demolition Dave, and someday we'll get him this side of the camera, but these things take time. I'm grateful to him as well. I've got a beautiful girlfriend, Olive, who's helped me here as well, and I've got my parents backing me up as well. So I'm grateful for all the people in my life. I'm grateful for the tiny budget I have for fixing this house, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to do it. I'm also grateful for the viewers, you guys watching this. So keep watching, follow the adventure. There's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times, we're going to get stuck along the way, but we're going to keep going, and eventually we get to sit inside and look back over this whole situation and see what a great journey it was. So thank you. It's early morning here at Ivy Cottage, and today's job is to start taking the slates off the roof. We're going to start on the lower section and then move the scaffolding in and work on the pitch section after that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start erecting scaffolding just along the back edge of the roof here. We're going to work up as far as the difference in pitches and start stripping the slates there and working back along the extension. When that roof has been completely removed, we're then going to move the scaffolding in against the back of the old section of the house inside the extension and start stripping off the main roof. I thought we'd show you the top of the scaffolding here. We erected it from the bottom upwards, and we've put these rails up here. This is a safe platform to work on, and that's the purpose of scaffolding, is somewhere where you can work safely from at an elevation, and also that you can bring materials up here for working for. But it's important to bear safety in mind, and that's why we've put this railing just along here. So if you accidentally do step backwards, at least you know you're not going to fall off the edge. Apologies for the wind, I hope you can hear me clear enough. We're just up here on the top of the scaffolding, and we start to strip the tiles off the roof. We have the first few rows done now. The first one or two are the hardest, but after that it starts becoming more easy. You can see the nails that you have to put out. We're just going to strip them down and keep them as whole as we can. They're easier to move with a big piece than loads of small pieces. So that's how far we've got, and we're going to keep working our way down now. So today we started stripping the slates off the lower pitched roof here at the back of the house, and we actually have them all stacked up behind us. It's taken almost the whole day to take them off, but we've not only taken them off, but we've taken them down from the scaffolding down to the ground, so they're ready to go off for recycling at this stage, which is a great achievement for the day. So we're up here on the roof, and as I said, we stripped all the slates off it. You can see that the roof isn't in great condition, and that's the reason why we actually did all this, is because the roof isn't going to stand the test of time. The pitch is too low, and as we see now, there's actually holes in the felt. So even if there's a heavy shower of rain, the water is going to come through the ceiling, and in fact it already has done in previous occasions. So the only thing was left to do was to re-roof it. So we've got this far, but I thought while we're up here we'd point out some of the things that can go wrong when you're on the roof, and it's just something to think about. Do you really want to go up on the roof, or do you need a professional to look after it for you? So here you can see that actually a large portion of the felt is missing, and there's actually a hole down into the room down below. There's a drop of approximately 8.5 foot from this point to the floor, and up here there's a drop of nearly 13 foot to the floor. If you were to fall down there, you could do yourself serious injury, so if you're not comfortable up on a roof, don't go up on a roof. Get somebody else to do it for you. So that's it. The sun is starting to go down here this evening after a long day's work at Ivy Cottage, and for tomorrow we're going to start stripping off the roof and the battens and all the felt and the rafters here off this roof section, so we can get in closer to the main roof of the house. So for today, that's all we've got done. We're very happy with our progress, and tomorrow's another day, so we'll start again in the morning. We're up here on top of the scaffolding, and we've started stripping the battens and felt off this back roof, and we've come across something interesting. Most builders and workmen out there are reputable and wouldn't do anything to do wrong to you. They're good guys, but occasionally you'll come across a rogue, somebody trying to cheat you out of something. What we've noticed here is there has been a minimal amount of insulation put around here that doesn't make any sense at all. We're wondering perhaps if somebody paid a lot of money to get the attic insulated and ended up with this. So this is the insulation that they've got given. There's barely any of it there. There's a bit around the edge here and a small few pieces up the top, and that's it. It's not acceptable as an insulation, and it's not acceptable if they've been charged money for this. But obviously it's history now. But it's just something to bear in mind. Always go for somebody who's recommended to you and somebody who's reputable, and you can't go wrong. Now it's just after lunchtime and we've done a good morning's work. We've got all the battens, the felt and the rafters taken off this roof, and we've started to knock through the ceilings from up above here. It just helps, it makes it a bit easier for when we're working down below. There's less stuff falling on us. So we're going to take the rest of it down from down below, and then we're going to start taking off all the joists then as well, and strip this roof all the way back down, and we're ready for the next step then. So we've reached the end of another day here at Ivy Cottage in West Cork, and we've taken all the timber off the roof and cut it into small pieces so we can fit it in the trailer for bringing for recycling. I'm afraid the rain's coming down quite heavy now, so we're going to call it a day, even though it is towards the end of the day anyway. We're going to give you a quick look around inside just to show you what we've been up to. So we're here inside what was the kitchen before, and obviously we took out the kitchen before, but the roof is now gone as well. We have a small backlog with the waste side of things. As I said before in one of the other videos, when you can get to a point where you've got so much waste that you can't carry on, and it got to that point today. There was timber in here, there's all the plasterboard from the roof, the small bits of insulation that was up there is all here. We couldn't work any further, and unfortunately my message that I sent 2 days ago to get a new skip sent didn't get there, so we're hoping for a new skip in the morning to start filling. But this is how far we've got anyway in the kitchen. I'll show you the rest of it. Yet again, this is the little hallway that runs between the kitchen and the bathroom into what was the old sitting room and the extension part of the house. And as you can see, there's no roof and the water is pouring down on top. But it's interesting to see the old back of the house as well, to see what a simplistic design the original house was. A beautiful thing. So this is the bathroom, and as I said, the roof is off this section as well, and everything's taken out of the bathroom, all the timber's down, the insulation, the plasterboard, all this wiring that's hanging down. It was part of the reason why we needed to get that electricity cut off and just provided with one single socket in by the fuse board. We know that these wires are dead at this stage, and you can touch any single one of them and you won't be harmed. If you're to try and work with these wires live, it would be such a health hazard. You can't do it. You must isolate your electricity before you start demolition. So this is the sitting room in the back of the house, and again all the roof is taken off, it's all cleared away, the plasterboard is on the ground ready for putting into a skip, and there's no fireplace in here. Demolition Dave kindly took out the fireplace, so I'm very grateful for that and for all his help today. This is one of the walls that we're going to take out. It divides this sitting room with the bathroom. And I'm going to take this wall out completely because I want to open out this room and use it as a kitchen in future. And behind you there's a window, and I'm going to take that out and put a lovely set of French doors in there, which will allow a lot of light into this lovely kitchen area. It'll be quite big, there'll be room for a table and a bit of a social area together. The next wall to come out is going to be this wall here. It divides the hallway with the bathroom. I want to make this wider because I want to make it into a bit of a boot room. And I'm actually going to move this door slightly as well to allow for cupboards to go along this wall. So that's what this wall is coming out completely. Then this wall just here, I need to cut it back a small bit. This is going to be a bathroom just in this section here. So I just want to cut back the wall a small bit, again to get the scaffolding in. And also, there's no point in taking down a good wall that's of use to us, so I'm going to leave some of it there for knitting into the new wall structure that we're going to build. So what we need to do is cut out these walls, but what I'm trying to do is save as much as I can. Every little bit that I save saves a little bit of money, and also puts things in the right order for carrying on. So I actually want part of this wall, and I've decided that I want 6 foot of a corridor leading here for this boot room that I'm going to create back here. Loads of storage inside it. Space will be limited in other parts of the house, so by using this for storage for cupboards, boots, coats, Christmas decorations, Christmas tree, whatever else, it'll be a handy way of using space and keeping the house tidy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this wall here, and we're going to start taking out the walls we don't need. So I've got a piece of timber here that I've used a level against. I know that's straight, so I'm going to pin the bottom, pin the top, and draw a line. There we go. And we level it again. And we're about right there. Oops. Demolition Dave gets a pencil. Thank you. Now, that will give us a rough line to cut on. And what we'll do is we'll take these cables out of the way as well. Actually, that one's going to come up. There we go. Will we be so lucky? There we are. Right. Now, so it's time to make a mess. We're going to cut this wall, and then we can start demolishing. So this is my Kango hammer. I'm going to start using it for taking down the walls here. But one of the things that people forget to do is just put a tiny bit of grease on the chisel, just where it goes in the Kango hammer. Just needs a bit of grease, just to help it move properly. So here we are in the extension, and we've taken the scaffolding down from behind the house, and we're going to set it up here at the back of the original house inside the extension. We've taken down these walls to allow for the scaffolding to be put in place. I haven't taken this wall down fully yet, but I will do it at a later stage. That's a job for another day. So that's the next mission now, is get the scaffolding up, and we're going to strip the slates off the front and back of this of the roof here on the main house, and dispose of them, and then we can carry on to the next stage after that. So we've just taken this copper cylinder and the pipe here out of the bathroom, and with the build the cost tends to go one direction only. With skips costing €250 a time and we're filling them quickly, the money seems to be going out the door. But there are ways of making a bit of money back. On the site here I found a battery, a car battery. It's worth €10. It's nothing much, but it all helps. This bit of copper pipe will be €2 or €3. But this cylinder here could get up to €40 in scrap value at a local scrapyard. So next week I'm going to bring this up, get it scrapped, bring the receipt back, and I can show you just exactly what we got for it. So here we are, we've reached the end of the day, and we're both very tired. It's been a lot of physical work today. But we've got the scaffolding up on the back of the house here, and as you can see, this is the roof of the old cottage. And we're quite excited because tomorrow is going to make an easy day's work. We've everything set up, we're ready to go. So tomorrow's task is to strip this side of the roof and get all the slates off it. We'll try and get the battens off it as well, and we'll see how we go from there. To my right hand side, you'll be able to look at that in a moment. You can look down on the work that we've done today and yesterday and actually the day before, stripping off this back roof, and we're making progress. The only problem is when you make progress, you start realising there's other things that need to be done. So some of the walls on this extension on the gables are cracked slightly in places, so I'm going to have to take some of those walls down in order to bring them back up again. But in some cases that doesn't matter, because this wall over here, I want to put French doors in anyway. So if I take off to the top section of the wall, bring down the walls, widen them out for the French doors, and put in new lintels or RSJs as it might be, and then build the blockwork back up, it'll be much more efficient for me. So now that we've stripped back the front porch and the little side utility room or porch or whatever it was on the side of the house, you can get a feel for the general shape of what Ivy Cottage is going to look like. There'll be no extra bits added on, maybe a small little canopy over the front door, but otherwise it's going to be this shape. We have to raise the pitch of the back roof a small bit because it's only at about, I think, 15 degrees at the moment. We need to bring it up to 20 degrees in order for the roof to work properly. So that's one little amendment we're making. And obviously new doors and windows and a bit of work will need to be done on the side here where the old porch has come down. But that's the general shape of Ivy Cottage and what we have to look forward to. So this is the east side of Ivy Cottage, and it's, I suppose it's the side that's been neglected most of all. There's a couple of problems with it, with the ivy growing up, and that's coming through the windows, and the lower windowsill on this side also isn't level, which totally throws out the look of the side of the house. It's one of the first things I noticed. So we're going to clear all the vegetation back here, pull out the windows, put new ones back in. You can see up high there some of the plaster's after falling off the side of the roof, but that doesn't matter because we're taking that off anyway. And just where this where the side window is here on the extension part, eventually that's going to be lovely. French door is opening out onto a patio area, so it's sort of hard to see at the moment, but that vision will come, and the time will come when we'll be able to video it and show it to you how wonderful it's going to look. So we're at the side of the house here, and it's just to point out another little thing that we've spotted. You can see this little crack running along here, and then you can see it also here, running across here and up along there. That's a bit of a problem for us. Obviously we want to build onto this and build the rest of the wall into the roof space that we're going to create, because we're going to raise the pitch of the roof. So this isn't good enough for building on. It might stay there for a while, but if we're going to do this properly, we may as well do it properly. So from this point here and up across, we're going to be taking that section of the wall out and reinstating it properly, so it's strong enough to carry on and stand the test of time. We've also found it on the other side of the house, so I'll bring you over this way and point it out to you as well. So also, just here we have a few cracks running through the wall, and up the other side a small bit as well. So but it's okay on this section anyway, because I do want to take out this window and the French doors that I keep talking about, which you would probably wonder why I keep talking about it. When you put in French doors with glass either side, it just lets so much light in. And if it's one thing in this country when it tends to be a bit dull sometimes, letting light into your house makes such a difference to your mood and your well-being, and also the general, how would you put it, environment and the way you live. It just feels better having light coming in. So if you can let light in, let it in. So that's why I keep going on about these French doors. I can't wait to put them in. They're going to be amazing. So here we are up on the rooftop, and as you can see, all the slates are stripped off the roof, which is a great moment for us. Demolition Dave and myself have spent the last 6 days here, and it has been a marathon run. In general, I'm normally just spending about 2 days a week here, but we got a bit of time off there, and we went for it. So in the 6 days, what did we get done? Well, we got the scaffolding put at the back of the extension, we stripped off the slates, we stripped off the battens and the felt, we knocked down some of the ceilings, we went inside then, took the rest of the ceilings down, cut back all the electrical wires that were hanging down. We dug out all that plasterboard and filled a skip, and that skip was gone. We had filled another skip of rubble prior to that as well, and that had been taken away. Then we put up the scaffolding at the back of the house, at the back of the main part of the house here, and we also put scaffolding at the front of the house. We stripped off the slates at the back of the house, and now we've stripped off the slates at the front of the house. So that's quite a considerable amount of work, and I forgot, we knocked down a couple of walls in the process so we could get the scaffolding in the first place, and also that's part of the design of the house, is to remove some of those walls. So that's quite a lot of work that we got done in a relatively short period of time, but it really has pushed the project on. We're only here almost 2.5 weeks now since we started, so that's good going to get this far this quickly, but we're still on that destructive phase where we have to take everything down and strip everything back. We're still a long way off getting to the point that we start rebuilding, but every day counts, every step forward counts. It's another bit nearer to where we need to be. So thanks for joining us here on the rooftop. This will probably be the end of episode 4 for you guys, maybe episode 5, and we just want to thank you for tuning in. If you press subscribe and press the notification bell, it's just down below here. It will actually notify you when a new episode comes up. For the first few weeks we'll probably be running one every week, but then sometimes we'll probably reduce down to every 2 weeks, obviously depending on weather and what we can get done, that we might have enough footage to keep going every week. But for the moment it will be every week. We're delighted you've tuned in. I hope you're enjoying the channel. I hope you're enjoying the progress we're making here and seeing it. Maybe you're inspired yourself. There's plenty of these cottages for sale normally around the countryside. So once again, thank you very much from Demolition Dave, from myself Pete, and Wolfie. Good evening.